morning. Welcome to Plus Sports. It's a beautiful day and I hope you're ready to kick off. Nigeria's para-athletics team to the 2021 World Paralympics Grand Prix in North Wales, Switzerland have triumphed in the competition, earning 11 gold and 5 silver medals. The team arrived in the country on Monday by a Qatar airline flight. Multi-gold medalist Flora Ogunwa led the medals haul with 3 golds as Chituru, Nwazuzu, Uchiaria, Iyazi, Onyigbole, Lovina, Ahiku Joy, Loretta Onye, Amon Abraham, and Edosomwan Osahon took the other 8 gold medals. Chituru Nwazuzu, Urizi Iyarzi and Michael Olushola won 2 silver medals at the championship held from May 11 to 17, 2021 in North Wales, Switzerland. The Nigeria Athletics Federation President Amobi Chiwenzu congratulated the athletes for making Nigeria proud at the Global Championship and also thanked Sports Minister Chief Sunday Dare for ensuring the country featured at the championship that also served as a Tokyo 2020 Paralympics game qualifier. In a no-lose match for both sides, with top 4 qualification on the line, Chelsea avenged their loss to Leicester from their FA Cup final match. This leaves Chelsea in charge of their own destiny and are now more likely to finish in the top 4 with a potential finish in 3rd, should they win their final game against Aston Villa. Timo Werner ran the Leicester City defense ragged and was unlucky not to score as he had 2 goals disallowed before Antonio Rudiger opened the account for the home team. Jorginho scored the Chelsea second with a calm penalty. Leicester did, however, get a goal in the 74th minute through senior man Kelechi Iheanacho, who became the first Premier League player to score on every day of the week. Ayoze Perez then wasted a glorious chance to equalize, leaving Chelsea to hold on to a priceless win. The match was played in front of 8,000 fans who made their presence known throughout the match.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a big step, but it's only a step. It's not done yet. We have to push it over the line on Sunday. So it's a huge team effort. Like I said, it was full of intensity, full of hunger and ambition, and we played over many, many minutes with a lot of quality. For, in my opinion, well-deserved win. But it's not the time for celebrations, not the time for praise. It's not the time for philosophy. If it's more than 3 points, it's actually 3 points. And there's another one to catch on Sunday, and we have to be prepared and aware to finish the job.
Manchester City, the Premier League champions, on Tuesday evening let a 2-goal lead slip against Brighton Hove Albion to lose 3-2 and have seen a significant injury scare ahead of the Champions League final against Chelsea. Midfielder Ilkay Gundogan, who opened the scoring at the Amex Stadium after just 2 minutes, saw his involvement ended prematurely as he had to be replaced by Fernandinho early in the second half, as Guardiola took no chances. Although the Germany international's early departure from the penultimate game of the Premier League season will raise concerns ahead of the Champions League final that takes place against Chelsea in less than 2 weeks. While Pep Guardiola would have hated losing a match, his bigger concern will be squad fitness, as the Man City matchday squad did not feature Raheem Sterling, Kyle Walker, or Sergio Aguero, as a lack of fitness was reported to be the reason by the club's official website. Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes Edinson Cavani's first half opener against Fulham would be a worthy goal of the season. The Uruguayan chipped Alphonso Areola from near the halfway line, though United would end up drawing the match 1-1 against the already relegated London side. Solskjaer admits United must improve their form ahead of the next week's Europa League final against Villarreal, having won just twice from their last 6 matches. Karim Benzema has been named in France's provisional Euro 2020 squad by Didier Deschamps, potentially setting up a chance for the striker to play for Les Bleus this summer. The 33-year-old has not played for France since October 2015, but is now set to line up alongside World Cup winners Kylian Mbappe and Antonio Griezmann at the European Championship, which gets underway on June 11th. Benzema, who has scored 27 goals for France in 81 appearances, was named as this season's best French player playing abroad by the country's Players Association earlier on Tuesday. He has netted 29 times for Real Madrid this season and has picked up the goal-scoring responsibility for Real Madrid since the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo in 2018 by scoring over 20 goals in each season. Deschamps said he had ignored his personal case, which is strange, a strange position for him to now hold, given the 33-year-old Benzema had been left out and outcast for almost 6 years for no other reason than his alleged involvement in the Mateo Valbuena sex tape and blackmail scandal. Here I want to bring on our guest, Brownson, to talk a little bit about this new change in Benzema's circumstance. Mr. Brownson?
Yes, good morning. Good to be here again. And I'm personally excited to have Benzema back in the squad. As it stands right now, I don't think the French national team, the Les Bleus, has any better striker than him in that squad right now. He has single-handedly taken Real Madrid to where they are right now on the table in the league. That's talking about the Spanish La Liga. And it will be unfair. Now, the scandal that it was allegedly linked to him till today still haven't been proven. It's still lots of hearings and all of that. Now, in the Western world, because of some sensitivity, things like this are taken more seriously. And of course, he was asked to step aside from the team. Investigation still going, but Deschamps, give him credit for having the boldness to bring him back into the squad. I think it's a great inclusion, and it will really boost the confidence of the team. Mbappe needs a competition in that squad. The likes of Griezmann and the like, they need competition. And who else to give that competition in that front line of the French national team better than Karim Benzema? For me, he's prolific, and I think it's a good feeling to have him back.
Mr. Brownson, I agree with you on almost every point you've made, except for Deschamps' boldness. He has kept this prolific goal scorer out of contention for places with France for years now on no other basis than an allegation that has hitherto right now hasn't even gone to court for full trial. Benzema has suffered so much, and so many members, so many French nationals with pedigree in the game have been calling for years for him to be included back in the squad. Do you think the fact that Giroud hasn't been playing enough this season has played any part in Deschamps' consideration for him to change his mind on an issue that he has been, till this day, reluctant to change in the past?
No, I don't want to agree with that, because if you look at Giroud, for instance, even when he's on the bench, Deschamps has a soft spot for him. And most people have said that Giroud was configured, is made for the national team. He may not do well in club football. When he gets to the national team, he performs very well. Now, scandals like this are always very sensitive. Like I said, in Africa, we take things very different. That's why you see people, they criticize people for some certain things, corruptions and the like, and they'll still be fighting to stay in office. That's in Africa. But in Europe, it's a very different ballgame. For the fact that something is being mentioned against you, don't forget, brands are also involved. The brand will tell you, if this personality does not step down, we are going to pull out. Let me give you a quick instance. Look at the Olympics that is coming up later in the year. Now, the president said something, the president of the LOC, he jokingly said that ladies, why he doesn't like being in a meeting with women is because they talk too much. And they laughed about it. Guess what? The following day, everybody around the world started calling for his head. Brands started saying that if he doesn't resign, they will pull out. One of the big brands, as a matter of fact, already pulled out. And he was asked to step down. So if you look at the Benzema issue, it's a very sensitive sexual scandal involving, trying to blackmail someone because you have a sex tape of, your fellow teammate, a national teammate. So Benzema has come out several times to say that he knows nothing about it. And for me, I think he hurts because it has not been taken to the court, no trials and all of that. His name still hasn't been cleared, even though he has been invited to the national team. I think it's unfair on him. But however, I think if you look at on current form right now, the French national team still doesn't have a striker of the caliber of Karim Benzema, to be in that squad right now. So I think it's a good call.
His form definitely makes him a go-to striker option for Les Blues. But with the storm still around his name, this is still just a provisional team. Do you believe he will make the final cut?
I think he will. If you look at Griezmann, for instance, what he's done for Barcelona, I'm not impressed. I think he played his best football in Atletico Madrid. You look at Oliver Giroud. In Chelsea, he's like an alternative. He's not even an alternative striker. It's when all chips are down. It's the last resort in Chelsea.
Well,
but you look at a player like Benzema.
He still has featured more under Tuchel than Abraham. He has come off the bench as the go-to striker every time. So there is still some use for Giroud, and very likely will definitely make the cut. But Benzema will probably wish this had come a year or two sooner. The World Cup now no longer an option for him to win at 33.
Yes, really it's not. And I think it's unfair because if you look at the all-time goal-scoring charts of France, if Benzema had played in the last 6 years, he would have been number one. He would have set new world record. But as it stands now, he's still on number 5. It's really, really unfair on the young man. But I personally think that he would make the final cut. Don't forget that UEFA has increased the sport from 23 players to 26. So, if you have 26 and you're dropping a Karim Benzema, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think Karim Benzema would return back to the national team. I even think the people in France, want to have him back in the national squad. So let's see how well that goes and how the fans will accept him when the tournament begins in earnest.
All right. Thank you. The Premier League champions, who on Tuesday evening let a 2-goal lead slip against Brighton and Hove Albion to lose 3-2, have seen a significant injury scare ahead of the Champions League final against Chelsea. Midfielder Ilkay Gundogan, who opened the scoring at the Amex Stadium after just 2 minutes, saw his involvement ended prematurely as he had to be replaced by Fernandinho early in the second half, as Guardiola took no chances. Although the Germany international's early departure from the penultimate game of the Premier League season will raise concerns ahead of the Champions League final that takes place against Chelsea in less than 2 weeks. While Pep Guardiola would have hated losing a match, his bigger concern will be squad fitness, as the Man City matchday squad did not feature Raheem Sterling, Kyle Walker, or Sergio Aguero, as a lack of fitness was reported to be the reason by the club's official website.
The game was tough. 11 against 11 against Brighton is a fantastic team, so it's difficult to face them. And with 10 is more difficult. Unfortunately, after 0-2, we defend well the first half. We didn't concede much. In the second half, after 0-2, unfortunately, we conceded a goal so quick. And after they push a lot, we were more tired. We could not keep the ball as much as possible. We wanted, but we could not do it. And unfortunately, we lost the game. Congratulations, Brighton.
Can't have been easy.
We break the record for 12 victories or 13 in a row, so we didn't do it again and not again. So in 6 days, on 4 days, and Sunday with our people, 10,000, we're going to lift the trophy. with our fans, we're going to try to win, and also we're going to prepare the fans in the Champions League.
Mr. Brownson. Mr. Brownson?
For me,
the match, well, I mean, it's always a surprise when Man City lose, but they had nothing to really lose in this game. Does the injury scare, though, do you think it will affect the Champions League preparations for Pep Guardiola?
yes, I mean, if you're going for a Champions League finals or any cup final, any game finals, it's always very good to go with a momentum. Right now, I don't think Manchester City has that momentum. I mean, last weekend we didn't see the best of them. 2 weeks ago, they lost, and I mean, going to the Champions League right now with most of his arsenal down, his top guns. Aguero, he has lost confidence in Aguero, and Gabriel Jesus hasn't been doing well. He hasn't been scoring the goals. We've seen that in the last 6 games of Manchester City, they have played with false nine. Now, last season, false nine worked very well for Manchester City. At the beginning of the season, they struggled, they picked up, they won 12, 13 straight games. And most of those games, they played with a false nine. Towards the end of the season, teams have understood how this game works. And we've seen Guardiola struggle with a team that plays 3-4-3 formation. Now, Antonio Conte came to England 2 seasons ago, played 3-4-3 formation, and defeated Pep Guardiola. All right. And we also see this situation this season where Thomas Tuchel came into the league, played the 3-4-3 formation, where you have 2 guys supporting the defense. When they support the defense, it turns to 5. They join the attack, it turns to 5. Most teams have struggled with this formation. Pep Guardiola tried to counter it the last game, but it didn't turn out very well. So right now, I think Chelsea has the mental advantage over City. In a space of in a space of a month. That's the about last month. So I think mentally they have the mental advantage over Man City going to the finals.
I also want you to comment on the Man United game. I think we have a track, please.
Already voted on the goal of the season. But if that was in the vote, I think he might have had a chance to win it. What an composed. He had a chance earlier on in the season against PSG in the Champions League, and he didn't score. And the way he took this chance was just amazing. So very pleased for him. Very pleased for the Stretford Enders that they could experience that on his first start for us, or a first meeting between them and Eddie.
Mr. Brownson, given the 3 games that Man United have now dropped points in, should they be worried about anything? I mean, it's only just 1 more game for the rest of the season.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think they should be worried about next season because the season is gone already. No title. You know, sometimes it shocks me by some decisions of board members to sack manager. I tell you why I said this. Jose Mourinho was coach of Manchester United for just 2 years. In 2 seasons, Jose Mourinho delivered the Carabao Cup or FA Cup, and he also delivered the UEFA Europa League. Now you have a coach like this who solidified the team. Jose Mourinho was asking for 2 defenders, but Ole Solskjaer brought in, I think, about 2 defenders. They got a midfielder. He has bought a couple of strikers, and yet if he becomes the coach of Man U next season, but with the body language of the board and with the Glazers' problem right now, it doesn't look like the fans or the team are concentrating.
But given Edinson Cavani's goal in the game and the consistency of his recent form, and now that he has signed an extension to his contract, possibly making a purchase of Harry Kane no longer necessary, don't you think the attack may finally be taken together and next season Man United might actually be able to compete for the league?
You know, after the game yesterday, when he was asked, that's the was asked about Harry Kane, he said he preferred not to comment. I don't see any team in England right now who wouldn't want Harry Kane in their squad. So I think Man U would go for Harry Kane. And Pep Guardiola was also asked about Harry Kane. And he said he chose not to talk. But for Manchester United, I think they need to solidify. Finding that goal yesterday was fantastic. He has proven that he's a goal poacher. Until he came to Premier League, I was never a fan of Edinson Cavani because it looked like in French League One, they give him 10 chances, he scores 3. But he has been more clinical in England than he was in France. So, yes, you also want to look at the age factor. He's 33, Harry Kane is 27. Harry Kane has got more time to play than Cavani. So I think United should also look at the direction of Cavani to be a very good inclusion in the squad.
All right then. Now in golf, world number 7 Rory Mcilroy is hoping to build on his drought-breaking win at Kiawah at this week's PGA Championship. The Northern Irishman won the Wells Fargo Championship, his first victory since November 2019, which comes in good time ahead of this year's second major. Mcilroy believes his win in 2012 at Kiawah counts for nothing, with the PGA Championship this year coming earlier in the calendar year. Meanwhile, two-time PGA champion Brooks Koepka admits he's not back to 100% fitness just yet, but believes it still could be enough to compete this week in South Carolina.
I've always said when you're in the thick of it, it always seems further away than it is. And I guess the big thing that I was really encouraged with at Quail Hollow is, it's my first time really getting myself into contention in a while, and to have those thoughts and movements sort of hold up under that pressure, trying to win a golf tournament, coming down some really tough holes. That's what I was really pleased with. The 2 shots on 16, the tee shot into 17. Obviously, the tee shot in the last wasn't great, but I got away with it. But those 3 shots coming, to hit the shots exactly the way I wanted to and play those holes very well with the lead, that's something that I haven't been able to do probably over the last 18 months, going back to the start of 2020. So I was very encouraged with that. So yeah, it's something I'm just going to have to continue to work on, and I want to get better. I want my game to get better. I want to become more consistent. I want to be in those positions more often than I have been, and that'll just mean keeping the head down and putting in the work. And I've been doing that for the last couple of months, and it was nice to see some results pretty early on. But I feel like there's still a long way to go.
I would say it's even for the people that were here in 2012, it's hard to know what to expect. First of all, you're in a different time of year. I believe when they played back then, it was all Bermuda. Now it's overseas for the most part. So it's obviously going to play a little different, right? I think a player told me they had some rain that week and it was rather soft. It's incredibly firm out there right now. So the downwind holes, ball rolls, and bounces on the greens. So I think it's playing different. Now, when it comes to the golf course itself, it is nice to be familiar with the layout. It is really nice to be familiar with the wind. So if you've been here in the past and have played both east and west winds, I think you have a certain advantage on strategy on some holes. I do know last time they moved a lot of tees around on some holes, so obviously that helps as well. But as a fan of Pete Dye golf courses, you kind of know what to expect, right? You get to the tee, you expect the fairway that you're not really going to see, deceiving off the tee, very deceiving to the eye in every single shot. Much like TPC Sawgrass, it's like you have a shape off the tee and another shape coming into the green. It's a true ball striker's golf course, and I enjoy the challenge, and I typically really enjoyed Pete Dye golf courses.
You're going to miss quite a few greens, especially if this wind's blowing. You could leave yourself some difficult chips around the green, so you got to be real tidy around there. But I really like this golf course. I think it sets up really well for me, and I'm excited.
All right, let's hit the course.
No, I feel like I can hit every shot. It's not like Augusta where I'm trying to figure out what's the best line to walk instead of figuring out what, now I can actually hit golf shots. I understand what's going on. For a while it was just a neglected putting just to see if I could hit shots, because if I can't hit shots, I can't play. So no point in that. But now I got everything under control. I know what I'm doing, and last week was a good test just to see where I'm at for 2 days. I thought if I got 4, it'd be nice, but 2 days of rest didn't hurt me.
Can you talk?
I mean, I can play. It's not. You're never 100%. That's the thing. I mean, for 2 straight years, it's been left knee, right knee. You know, herniated a disc in my neck. You know, played in what was it, Tampa or wherever we were. You know, played through that. You know, I dealt with that all the way through Palm Springs. So, I mean, I can deal with the pain. That's not an issue. It's just a matter of being able to hit shots that I want to hit and do things I want to do, and I'm starting to be able to do that. Even though I'm not 100%, I can still hit the shots.
Well, Mr. Brownson, Nwana, it's been a pleasure having you on Plus Sports. We hope to have you back soon again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to all of you out there watching. It's been a wonderful day. I hope you get out and do some sports. This is Mcilroy signing off.